What's up guys, Diego here and welcome to another video here on the FI Investors channel. Today we are going to be breaking down house hacking as a real estate strategy. So I've been house hacking, or I started house hacking back in 2014. I recommend house hacking to a lot of people when they're getting started, and here is why. I recommend house hacking because it is one of the strategies where you can buy a home with low money down as an owner occupant. A lot of people think that you need 20% to buy a home, and that is not true. So house hacking, to explain a little bit and to break it down, is when you buy a single family home or a duplex, triplex, and quadplex. You buy it with low money down as an owner occupant, meaning that you can buy it using an FHA loan, a conventional loan, putting 5% down. FHA is 3.5%. You can use a VA loan, putting zero money down, or a USDA loan. Owner occupant, of course, means that you have to live in the property for at least a year. But here's the best part, is that you can buy that property with low money down, and then after a year, you can move out and do it again and again and again. This is what I did back when I was 24 years old. I bought a property here in Austin, Texas. I bought a 4-bedroom home, rented out 3 bedrooms, lived in the master, and then began living for free. So to break it down even a little bit further with house hacking, you can buy a single family home and then you can live in the master and rent out the other bedrooms, right? So in the ideal world, you get a 4, 5, or 6 bedroom home with at least 2.5 or 3 bathrooms. 2-story would be ideal, but you can get one of those homes. You can live in the master and rent out the others. And by renting out the others, you can get the cash flow from the roommates that you're living there. Now, if for whatever reason you say, look, Diego, I don't want to live with roommates, this is not something I want to do, you can get a duplex, triplex, or quadplex, which means you can live on one side and rent out the others. Now, the good thing with this is that with an FHA loan, for example, you can buy a duplex with 3.5% down. You don't need 20% or 25%. All you need is 3.5%. So for example, if you get a property that is $200,000, like a duplex, with about $7,500 plus some closing costs, you can buy a property. And if the rent from one side covers the whole monthly payment then of the mortgage, then you can live for free. So that is what I did. In 2014, I bought a 4-bedroom home, lived in the master. My mortgage at that time was around $1,350, and I rented out each room for $550. This means that I was getting $1,650 a month, and I was living for free. I paid off the mortgage, I saved some money for reserves, and the extra cash paid for my car payment. Now, ever since then, I was able to live for free, have my car payment paid by my tenants, paid by my roommates, and that meant that I could save even more money every single month and put that toward my next investment. That is the power of house hacking, is that when you look at all of your finances, because this is what happened to me. I looked at my finances and realized that my living expense was my highest expense in my budget, in my monthly expenses. So that's when I asked myself, how can I eliminate it? By asking myself that question, that's when I found out all about house hacking, and this is why I'm breaking it down just for you, so that maybe you are having that same question. You look at your finances and you look at like, oh my gosh, I spend so much in rent. How can I eliminate it? How can I not have to do that? That is where house hacking comes in. Now, the best part about this is that, again, you can live with roommates, or you can live on one side and rent out the others. Now, let's say that you do get with roommates, for example, there's multiple applications that you can use to find your tenants. You can use Facebook groups, you can use roomster.com, Craigslist, And then for the multifamily, you can actually use, again, you can use Craigslist. There are some Facebook groups, but you can actually market that more long-term on Zillow, on different applications. Zillow can syndicate it. You can get a property manager. And the best part out of all of this is that as you're getting started, it is with low down payment. And depending on your market, you can get the seller to pay for your closing costs. So all you would need is just the low down payment. And after you live there for a year, you need to live in that property for a year, you can do it again. Right? What happens, let's say that you, like what happened with me, is I was living in that property and I was living for free, making, let's say, $300 a month in cash flow. Of course, minus expenses, let's say it's $100. Now, once I moved out of that property, I put in another roommate in the master bedroom. So now I rented the master bedroom and now I was making $1,000 a month from that property. Now I moved to property number 2 with low down payment. Again, another house hack, but now I had property number 1 making me around $1,000 a month. I was living for free in property number 2. So the money that I was saving in rent, right? I began to put that money in my bank account and now I'm making $1,000 a month from property number 1. So if you look in a matter of a year, I was able to save whatever I was saving by living for free. And now I can save that cash flow of my first house hack, which was $1,000 a month. Now I have an additional $12,000 to buy my next property number 3, let's say, and so forth and so forth. So this is exactly what I did. And this is why house hacking is such a good idea for anybody that is looking to get started with low money down, especially if you're a young person, maybe coming right out of college, you got your job and you're like, okay, how I want to get into real estate, but I don't have that much money. I am comfortable living with roommates or living in a duplex, triplex, or quadplex. Then this is the perfect strategy for you. As I said, this is what I did in the beginning to get started in my journey and when investing in real estate. So if you have any questions on house hacking, send me a message because we do have a course on buying your first property as a house hack or your first rental. Send me a DM on Instagram at Real Diego Corzo, or you can go to thefiinvestors.com and download the information that we have there, which breaks it down for you. Now, you might say, okay, Diego, I found out about this strategy. This is what I want to do. But now, who do I talk to if this is something that I do want to invest with? Who do I talk to that can help me in my market? Well, this is where you find your investor-friendly realtor. Then you find your lender so that they can help you qualify for that loan. And between your investor-friendly realtor and the lender, you will be able to buy your first house hack. And if you have questions on finding the realtor or finding the lender, I can help you with that as well at thefiinvestors.com. So again, to break it down, house hacking is the one strategy that if you're looking to buy a property with low money down and you're comfortable living with roommates, or you're comfortable living in a duplex, triplex, or quadplex and living in one side and renting out the others, then this is the great strategy for you. Now, fast forward a couple of years now with everything in 2024, 2025, and later going to 2026, the house hacking strategy is now called also co-living. So if you hear co-living now, co-living is basically where you can buy an investment property and you can rent out the rooms so that you can get maximum cash flow. So whether you're house hacking and you're living for free, or you're house hacking, living in the property, reducing your living expenses, or you're buying an investment property and doing co-living, this is a great strategy for anybody that wants to invest and get started as we break down house hacking. And now, here's the cherry on top. what happens later? Let's say you've been living in a property and that is your house hack, that it is your owner occupant home, and you're like, look, I've built a lot of equity in the home. Maybe you did a few upgrades to the property while you were living there and you forced the appreciation on the property. Now you can get a HELOC on that property, which is a home equity line of credit, and you can use that HELOC to basically buy more properties in the future, because at that point you're using the equity of the home to continue building your real estate portfolio. This is one of the strategies that I used a couple of years ago, where I got a HELOC from my first house hack and I used that money to buy my condo in Puerto Rico. So at the end of the day, house hacking has helped me a lot because I was able to live for free and get started saving as much money as possible so that I could continue investing in real estate. And it even got me my property in Puerto Rico. So that is the power of house hacking and compounding and building equity. So if you have any questions again on this, send me a message, tag me on a comment below here on the video, and we will help you out and answer any of your questions. So if you got this far, I want to thank you. So please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, because we will be continuing to provide as much value as possible so that you can continue to become a financial independent investor, or what we call a FI investor. Good luck on your real estate investing.